Hi.
It's FanGirl Wednesday!
Yeah, it is!
And guess who's with me?
Me!
It's Adam!
Hello!
Woo! Woohoo! So excited to have him here while we talk about the Percy Jackson series, but before we talk about anything, Adam, I must take a sip of my tea.
And I must take a sip of my chocolate milk.
Out of his Harry Potter pimp cup.
Yes.
Sip time. This week, we are talking about the Percy Jackson series. We are going to be talking about Percy Jackson and the Olympians. When we first meet Percy Jackson, why are you looking at me like that? He's a creep. We're going to go through the books and we're going to talk about them. We're going to fangirl and fanboy about them a little bit because they're freaking awesome.
Yes, of course.
What's your favorite thing about Percy Jackson, Adam? Is it the mythology? Is it the story? Is it everything?
I love the names of the chapters.
Yes! Oh my god, I have to say, Rick Riordan,
So
how do you say his last name?
Riordan?
Riordan, however you say it. Rick does a fantastic job of weaving humor into even the most frightening of situations.
Yes.
Like, the first chapter of the first book is...
I accidentally vaporized my pre-algebra teacher. Come on!
How can you go, oh, I'm not gonna read this? What? Like, what?
And, like, it's relatable to, like, younger people.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
It's very much like Harry Potter, where you meet him at an age where he's young enough that he's still developing, but not so young that he's, like, innocent and annoying and not interesting. And you get to grow with him through the books. And just like Harry Potter, he has an ominous prophecy hanging over his head. Ah!
All the time.
Yeah, but we'll get back to that in just a second. For the first book, which is The Lightning Thief, we get introduced to the world, to Percy Jackson's world, and he finds out that he is a son of a god. He doesn't know which one at first, but he finds out he's the son of Poseidon, and he goes for the summer to this camp for kids like him, demigods, the children of gods and goddesses, and he's supposed to be getting trained, yeah. And it turns out that Zeus, because Zeus is an idiot, thinks that Percy Jackson stole his lightning bolt.
See, Zeus is just paranoid.
He really is.
It's just
I mean, granted, I get it. He's like the god of all gods. He's like the chief god. So of course he's gonna be like, bitch is trying to steal my throne! Also, can't keep it in his pants.
No, he can't!
None of them can keep it in their pants. Pretty much everything that goes wrong in the Greek world in ancient times and now is because the gods can't keep it in their pants around mortals. I mean, I know we fly, but calm your jets. But one of the things I really love that got me into the books, I mean, I've always loved Greek mythology, but when you read Greek mythology, it's in ancient terms, and you have to think of it in the parameters of that culture and that society. And what's really interesting about Percy Jackson is that Rick Riordan, or however you say his last name, Rick does a really good job of modernizing the gods and goddesses and bringing them up to date without changing who they are. He makes it very believable that they have gone on the journey of Western civilization with Western civilization rather than just like popping up again like, hey, what's up? We're in New York now. Like, yeah. So, yeah.
And I also like the fact how, like, especially with like the monsters, where it's just like, you know, like in the past, like Medusa, for example. With the myth of Medusa, Perseus killed Medusa, blah, blah. But the thing is now, Rick, he does this whole thing where monsters, they never die. They always reform. And
I think that might have been part of, like, Greek myth. Yeah, because gods can't die, titans can't die. They can be defeated, but they can't be destroyed.
That's terrifying.
It really is.
That's terrifying.
Because if you think about it, because, like, the first monster that Percy kills is the
Minotaur?
The Minotaur! Wow. The first thing he kills is the Minotaur. And it's like, that thing was defeated thousands of years ago, but it's back. And it comes back in a later book, too. He's there again. He's like,
he's everywhere!
Dude, I killed you already! He's like, didn't I kill you? Haha! Snap. But, I mean, that's enough about The Lightning Thief. I know we didn't get into it in any particulars. But it's an introduction, and it's a really good introduction because there's a lot of action, but a lot of information with... there's every chapter, there's action. But you're getting introduced to a lot of different things, too, so it really sets you up well for the rest of the books. My favorite book is the second book, The Sea of Monsters, which is placed in the Bermuda Triangle, which I think was genius. About the Bermuda Triangle being this like dangerous place, and that's where the Mediterranean Sea or whatever winds up being where all the monsters are, but the Sea of Monsters. So thank you for being aware. But anyway, something I really love is the repetition of Greek myths with Percy as the hero. Because we get almost like the story of Odysseus is being played out again. They wind up on Circe's island, and Percy gets turned into a guinea pig instead of a pig. And then they wind up on the island of Polyphemus.
Yes.
Which I'm probably saying that wrong. The Cyclops. And they trick him with the same nobody's here. Nobody's back to get you! Nobody's back to get you! Which, awesome.
So good.
But we also meet Percy's brother.
Yes, Tyson!
Who is a Cyclops! Because apparently, Cyclopses are the children of Poseidon. He mates with, what, nymphs or something like that?
Yeah, I think it's...
With a nymph or a forest thing, whatever they are. And he has Cyclops children. They're children of Poseidon, too.
I love Tyson.
I do. He really is. He's fantastic.
At first, like, I felt so bad for him because, like, no one wanted him around. He just wants some love.
He really shows that, like, not all monsters are evil.
Yes.
All monsters are monsters, but not all monsters are evil. And that really becomes something that is shown throughout the books.
And that can be related to real life, because, like, stereotypes.
Yes.
But, like, all stereotypes aren't...
They're not true.
No. Very powerful.
Also, something in the second book that I really enjoyed was Clarice. Because they go to get the
Golden Fleece.
The Golden Fleece. Wow. They go to get the Golden Fleece because they think Grover's in danger, but Clarice is actually given the task. So when they get the Golden Fleece, although Percy does it, he gives it to Clarice and says, you take this back to camp.
Yes. Because
this was your task, and I kind of stole it from you, and that's not fair, and you worked really hard, you helped. Just because you didn't grab it at the last second doesn't mean you didn't do your job.
Percy's such a nice...
Percy really understands what's fair.
Yes.
Even though Clarice is kind of a... What's the word?
Bitch.
Yeah. Even though she's kind of a bitch.
You can relate.
He understands that she's got issues.